What is going on, YouTube? It is me, Flash, back with a little update. And today, we're just going to be talking about what I've done thus far since my last video, what I'm doing currently at the very moment, and what could possibly be in store for the next video. So, with that being said, let's jump right into it. As you guys saw in the first opening shot, it was the shot of this Behr Marquee interior satin paint. And you may be wondering why I have that, why it's open, why I have a paintbrush there. It's pretty much because, as you guys know, you can see my bench work. It's not the traditional, layout bench work where it's just we have the, pretty much the frame going around with the legs connected to the frame, and then the, sorry, I wasn't even looking at it, but it's not the traditional layout or the traditional bench work where you have a frame going all the way around. Your legs are attached to the frame, and then your top board, your plywood, is attached to the frame. Like I said, this is not built to be sturdy. It's just to do what I needed to do for a little while. And I just have the legs screwed into the top plywood with a couple L brackets, one on each side of each leg. As you see, one here and one there. And you can kind of see them back there on the other ones as well. So you may be wondering, why am I painting on some Behr Marquee interior paint? And if you know anything about paint, this is Behr's best paint, the most expensive paint. This goes at about $45 a gallon. And you may be wondering why I'm using that. Well, I'm using it to seal the plywood. Okay, because like I said, this is not traditional. This is not a traditional layout bench work where you have a frame. So this will be subject to more warping because I don't have any support beams on the bottom. Maybe I'll do that one day, maybe not. I don't know. But I'm pretty much putting this down now to seal the plywood. And still, you may be wondering, why in the hell do I have a paint and primer paint that I'm using to seal this? Well, like I said, this goes at about 45 bucks a gallon. It's got a really good primer in it, but that's not the kicker. I was able to get this paint for about a penny. The Home Depot that I was at, they had clearanced it. It was a misshipment or something along those lines, and they were pretty much, they reduced it by like 10 bucks at first. I waited because I figured it would drop to like 5 bucks and I'd pick it up then, but they ended up dropping it down to a penny. So I was like, hell, why not use that instead of buying 20 bucks? For about 20 bucks, a regular primer, a regular primer and sealer, I can get that and use that as my primer and seal it down, instead of spending the 20 bucks to get a regular primer, like I just said. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone, if you need a little bit. I'm not spending the money, which no one wants to do nowadays, and I still got a primer to seal my plywood down. And as you can kind of see, it's opaque, so to say, or translucent. It's not completely see-through. I mean, the spots that I did lay it on a little thicker, you see where it's white, but just to give you a little breakdown on how paint works. You go to Home Depot, if you look at that Behr paint, you see right here, let me get my X-Acto so you can see it. Right here, it says deep base, number 7453. Well, for most paints, they have three bases: a pure white base, a medium base, and a dark base, or a deep base in this case. So your ultra pure white, or your white base, is white, nothing added to it, just white. That's an actual paint and primer that if you paint on your walls, it will be white on your walls. Medium base is pretty much the same thing. It's a little bit less space in the can, like you look in here. I've already used it. I've used it on these two. I'll kind of give you a close-up on those in a second here, but I've used it on those two. That's why it's almost half empty. But the medium base is like, I don't know, it allows like 10 to 15 ounces of coloring or whatnot in there. The pure white only allows like 5 ounces, give or take a few. And the deep base, the thing that makes the deep base kind of unique is the fact that it's clear. You look in the can and it looks white now. That's because it's all together. As you can see, I've painted it on. I'll kind of get closer, you can kind of see it, and hopefully it focuses. doing this off my phone. As you can see, you can still see the grain of the wood under the paint and primer, but looking at it overall, it has a white haze. Once this dries completely and cures, or after it dries, it'll be white. Once it cures, you pretty much won't even see it. The only reason you'll see it is because this is a satin enamel paint. If you know anything about shininess and sheen, sheen is the third one on the list. You got flat, eggshell, satin, semi-gloss, and high gloss. And this is a satin. So as you can see there, it's painted on there. But once it dries, it will be clear. And I'll show you on the other section of plywood that I did a couple of days ago, just to see how it will come out. And so pretty much the deep base is clear. It's completely see-through. So the fact that I was able to get it for a penny, I wasn't gonna have white paint all around. I figured, why not? It's a penny. I get my primer with it. Kill two birds with a stone. And originally, when I first thought about this whole layout, I wasn't even gonna seal it. I wasn't. Until I started thinking about it warping and not having support beams. I was like, hey, why not get this primer, this paint primer, in one, and spend a penny to get it, and kill two birds with a stone. Have my layout a little bit more durable, and have it sealed from the weather. So that was kind of the plan idea there. I'll show you this other section of plywood if I can get my light over here. You can see the shininess off of it, but you don't see anything white. I don't know how well it's really picking up on the camera that it's not white, but it's 100% see-through. The only reason you see the little shine right in here is coming from the window. The light that's coming in is shining off of it because this is satin. This is a satin finish, which has a little bit of shine to it. But as you see, there is nothing white on the plywood. I did that one over there too, but I got stuff on that one, so just showing you this one. So this is all white. It's dried, still curing. Most paints takes about 2 to 3 weeks to cure. Since this is just right off the shelf, deep base, it shouldn't take too long. I'm thinking 2 weeks to cure, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like I'm about to paint over it or I'm about to do anything fancy. I'm just gonna put some foam down. As you see there, I got more foam in the back. So that's pretty much that. I got track. I don't know if I told you guys that already, but I got track, got cork. Where's the box of cork at? Oh, it's under the track. Got track here. Whose track is it? I think this is I think it's Atlas Flex Track. I'll double check, but I think it's Atlas Super Flex Track with concrete ties. I don't really like wooden ties anymore, considering everything's going to concrete. And what I mean by Super Flex is, as you see, I can do all that and it goes back to relatively straight. Most flex track, as soon as you curve it, see if I can get a curve on it. As soon as you curve it and you bring it back, it's gonna stay curved, or however you bend it. Like you see, I'm curving it now. I can bring it back straight, straighten it out, and it's pretty much completely straight again. That's Super Flex Track. I just prefer that over regular flex track. That's just me. Everyone's different. Everyone's gonna have their preferences. That's just mine. That's pretty much it for this one. Not much else has happened pretty much, and going through a little bit. So things have sort of slowed down, but I'm still making progress here and there, and I'll pretty much keep you guys apprised of every update that I have. I mean, there's nothing else. I think I already told you guys that I got this switch in. I would lay it down here so I can show you where it'd be at, but it's obviously wet because I just painted this on here. I'm about to paint this paint primer on this sheet of plywood here, and possibly those two today too, depending on how this day goes. The next thing I'll do an unboxing on the NCE Power Cab. I feel like a lot of these things need a lot of these unboxings and of certain items need to be redone. Not because they're bad, but because they're just old. Me personally, when I look on YouTube and I want to see something, I don't feel like looking at something that's 5, 6, 7 years old, even 3, 4 years old, because everything changes, man. Things change every 6 months nowadays. As far as this hobby goes, electrical wise, not much changes drastically, but shit changes every 6 months. You get something new out every 6 months. Manufacturers are coming out with this, coming out with that. This one's better than the old one. Get this one. It's not like they're coming out with something every single month. If that was the case, whatever they had previously would never sell. So that's just the name of the game. We got to deal with it. But yeah, I've been meaning to do an unboxing video on that NCE Power Cab. I took the sleeve off of it because I looked at it earlier just to make sure that it was all in there and whatnot. And it'll actually be a review of the Power Cab later on once I get track late, for obvious reasons, because you can't review a product if you really can't use it. That's why it's usually like an unboxing kind of a thing, or overview, so to say. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for this one. I will hit you guys up when I got something new, possibly another video on that Power Cab there. But other than that, it's pretty much it. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace. I'm out.